There he is. Is this an ad for Bubbly?
Oh, you can see me now? Okay, perfect. We're live now. All right, so well, welcome everyone. These are, by the way, really good. Have you had them? Tried them? This flavor?
Yeah, I have. I have. What flavor?
Oh,
Wait, what flavor is that? Is it lime?
this is the lime flavor. Yeah,
Yeah.
really exciting flavor. So I'm basically I took over majority of the office operation for Peak
Uh-oh, did it
Capital.
burn down?
No, it didn't burn down. Burn down. It's just I'm taking care of a lot of stuff. So one of my first executive orders was make sure our fridge is always filled with bubblies. Yeah, yeah. So that's that was kind of my first move. Before we had a little bit of trouble, so I do apologize. For a little bit delay. We usually try to go live at about 3:45 right before the close, but a little bit of technical issues. Today's guest, on a short notice, she was generous enough to actually come on the show. Really appreciate her help. Is Megan? Megan, how you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm good. I'm good. Um, Survived the day, so hopefully some other people survived the day.
I
It was
know.
it was a rough day for the markets today. Especially for newer traders, I think that if you're very new to this and this is the type of market day that you enter into, you're gonna get hurt, and I feel for you because I have been there. I have been that new trader that's just like, what is even happening? So if you're new and you got really messed up today, just know that, these days happen, and being able to see them and catch them when they are happening and being able to zoom out and look at the bigger picture is going to help get you through these days and protect your capital and, save them for the days when we're actually having really solid moves in the market.
Yeah, I know from your style of trading that I've been following your trades for a little while now. I do realize you're mostly kind of an all-day hold trend trader. So on a choppy day like this, it should be a little more difficult for you to find opportunities. Is that correct or not really?
Yeah, I can still find opportunities, but I have to basically switch my mindset to taking partials a lot sooner. I'm someone that trades the higher time frames on an intraday chart, and so I'm looking for big chunks of a move. And on days like today, where normally I would wait, for a 3 point move to even take a partial sometimes. So on days like today, I'm taking them within 50 cents, which
Yeah.
is pretty normal for a lot of scalpers and people who are momentum trading. But for me, that's really, really soon. So, when people have Christmas tree charts, that's pretty rare for me. Today, I had more of like a Christmas tree chart.
Right.
So Santa Claus came and Santa Claus brought money. So that's good.
That's good. That's awesome. I did see your Twitter post, sitting by your pool, enjoying a smoothie, and staying green. That was an awesome post. If you guys don't follow Megan on Twitter, definitely follow her. She shares a lot of really valuable stuff, really useful, tons of useful stuff. Maybe some of our support, maybe Carlos, you can put her at in the support chat if anybody want to actually follow her. So I got a question. You said on a days today you try to, rather than getting a 3 point move, you start partialing too early. But how do you know that today is going to be choppy? Because when the market opens, you don't know if it's going to be a trend day or a choppy day. So like, what are some of the things that you look at that tells you, hey, today I have to partial a little faster rather than holding and waiting for a kind of an all day trend?
Yeah, so one of the best things to do is, if you enter into a position early on in the day and you're expecting, a decent move and the market bounces or turns and comes right back to where we opened or right back to where you got in and basically fills that area that you had already traded. Well, now we're looking at a little bit of an indecision, right? And we're looking at more of an intraday range being set. And that could be, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But when that happens right away in the morning, what you want to do is you want to go to a larger time frame. You want to switch to like the 1 or the 5 or the 15, which switch from the 1 to the 5 or 15, and you want to zoom out and then play those ranges. And it's very similar to trading like what we call in the chat like an opening range breakup or a breakdown, which a lot of traders are familiar with. but those breakups and breakdowns are coming off of like a 1 minute chart, a 2 minute chart, or 5 minute chart. This is very similar, but you're looking for just a little bit more time, right? So if you're in these smaller time frames and you catch the move, but it just really doesn't go, and the stock just comes right back up, or the market comes right back up, you can recognize that, okay, now we're setting a range for the day and it's not quite ready. So you just have to zoom out and draw those range levels basically for the day and trade off of those. You can, like today, I traded Oxy, and I traded it in, congruence with the SPY, but I'm trading the tops and the bottoms of an intraday range because that's what we're doing all day, right? So I'm not expecting really it to break the top of it or the bottom of it and like trend for the rest of the day until the market tells me otherwise. I'm just taking it at the top and trading it to the bottom, taking it from the bottom, trading it to the top, and vice versa. Just that's how you have to play days like this. And
I
and I
see.
highly recommend zooming out. So, if you don't get the move that you initially think you're going to get in the morning, just zoom out and wait for those levels to get set.
Yeah, yeah. And you went in to like a kind of a really extensive details in your webinar using a higher time frame for trading, which was an amazing webinar, by the way. We would
Thank you.
love to have you more on for the webinars, probably the schedule as it frees up over the second half of the year. Is there any webinars scheduled for you in the second half, or not yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
Maybe
we
if
gotta
we
make
get
that
like,
happen.
yeah, we got to get like 100 more members to join BBT, and then I'll do a webinar.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're going to make that happen. I see, I'm just taking a look at the chat. Carlos is saying today's show is sponsored by Bubbly. Well, Carlos is actually flying to Vancouver to help us with this live operation. Carlos is he's really good at it. He's done a fantastic job with the pre-market show. He's flying to Vancouver for 3 days just to help us kind of, fine tune this show. Of course, we're spending a lot of time, the research we're doing for this show. Hopefully, everyone's getting a lot out of it. Let's
Is
go.
he going to some beard tips while he's in town?
I need one. Are you saying I need some beer tips?
No,
I
no, I'm
definitely.
just saying because since you're going to have to be growing this out for a little while, possibly, I'm just wondering if Carlos is going to teach you the ways.
I would love to. Carlos got immaculate, beautiful beard. So I think that's a place. That's someone I would love to get some advice from, for sure. I don't know. Maybe he could say something in the chat. Megan, I created some questions for you, and of course, if anybody has question for Megan, use the chat function and ask her. But I asked this from all of our guests so far. I had Peter on, I had Jared on. Whether or not this has been one of the toughest market that you've traded in. One of the answers that really surprised me was Peter. He said no. And Peter has traded the dot-com bubble and stuff like that. So I was expecting maybe he'd say yes, because everybody's comparing this market with the dot-com bubble. But you've been trading now for a few years. I want to ask you this question: is this one of the toughest market you've seen?
For me, yeah, this is very difficult to trade, especially you know, it's almost like you have to flip everything on its head. And when you've been trading a specific market for so long and everything now is upside down, it can be really difficult for your brain to adjust to. So I do find that for me, it is the most difficult. And it just, when that happens, you just have to be more patient. I saw a tweet this morning from, I think it was Tom Canfield, and he said, bear markets are basically, they're different, and what you need to do is wait 30 minutes for the market to tell you what it's going to do for the day. And as day traders, it is hard for us to wait that long.
Yeah.
We've got the momentum in the morning, all we want to do is get in, we want to get those awesome trades. But now is the time to be patient. And although it is the most difficult market I've probably traded in so far, it is really doing wonders to my patience and testing it. And although it's difficult, I think all of us are going to develop a really good skill set from this market if we lean into that and take advantage of what learning opportunities we're getting right now.
Yeah. No, well said, well said. Are you mostly, I haven't seen like that, are you mostly like a long bias or short bias, or no? Because it feels to me that you take the direction regardless. You don't really have a bias, but just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a bias. I typically just want to trade with the direction of the market, right? just in what it's doing for the day. Like, are we breaking a top or bottom range, and are we trending to the long side or to the short side? But I will say I really like to short. So I tend to take a lot more short trades than long trades, just because I feel like gravity just pulls them right down, and it's just like a fun slide to ride.
Yeah,
So I do find I take a lot more of those. But no, I just kind of go with what the market's telling me for the ranges that it's playing for the day.
yeah. No, well said. Well said.
But
Next,
what about for you? I know these questions for me, but I'm really curious because you come from a macroeconomic standpoint, and I'm mostly trading, just technicals. But for you, are you sitting on the sidelines right now, like more than you normally would?
oh, interesting. Nobody ever asked me questions. I like that. So for my option trading, I usually overall I try to run a neutral book. So meaning, when I send out my trades in my newsletter, I have the direction in one column and I have a reason in another column. And the thinking behind that is I want to make sure that I have enough long, enough short, and enough neutrals in a way that overall my delta is balanced. Because if all of a sudden something happens and market rips, I don't want to get wiped out. And all of a sudden if something happens and market falls down, because these positions are weekly, I don't want to get wiped out. So I want to make sure my risk is maintained. But overall, I try to look at the overall picture. Are we in a risk-on environment, risk-off environment, and try to follow the trend. So, if market is ripping, you'll see my book overall has a positive delta. Overall in a long direction. If market is in a risk-off mode right now, you will see in majority of my trades is going to be probably bearish or neutral rather than bullish plays. So it really
Okay.
depends. But like one thing I've learned, and like my background is like financial engineering and finance is, risk management is really important. And it's one of the things we work with Peak Capital Trading as well. It's like you got to know not to get wiped out. That's the name of the game. And especially if you're playing with options, when in some of the strategies your risk is unlimited, you could easily get wiped out. So just looking at the big picture, what is the overall theme of the market? Are we in risk off, risk on? Then work my way down in my portfolio, make sure I have enough long and shorts that overall I'm running a delta neutral book. It doesn't always happen, but that's kind of what I'm striving for. Yeah.
I love that. You bring so much to the community with all of this option stuff. I know that they really appreciate it. I appreciate it. It just gives such a different look, a different outlook on the overall market than just your normal, intraday trading that most traders come into the market to do, like,
Yeah.
opening range breaks and all of these things that people have learned from, Andrew's book and things.
Yeah.
But you're adding this whole other element, and I know that we all appreciate you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it. We should get you into options. I think it will make a killing once you get into option trading.
All right, I'm gonna come to you for advice pretty soon, I
It's
think.
it's a scalping but on steroids, so you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh God, now you're
Seriously.
talking.
Yeah. Shout out King Getta. He's in the chat. He said, "I love this market. It's so easy." If you guys don't follow King Getta, definitely follow him on Twitter as well. He shares his trade. A really good trader. I think one of the oldest traders in our community. He started when Andrew was starting. So, congrats to him. Thanks for coming. Sal T is saying agree option inside adds a lot of value. I appreciate it. Thank you. But let's go back to our guest, person of the hour. What advice do you have for someone just starting out? So a lot of people, the boom of 2020, 2021, they're starting out. This market is scary for them. What is your number one advice, Megan?
My number one advice would be to lower your risk right now, especially if you're just starting out and you're just trying to learn the markets. I mean, especially if you're super, super new, use sim to your advantage. I mean, what better way to learn than in a bear market? And, something that a lot of people struggle with is a bear market. And, to be new and to be learning and to be in sim and have your money be safe and protected is a great learning opportunity. Take advantage of that. The other thing I would say is, I would find a trading buddy. I've mentioned this a few times in the
Yeah,
chat
yeah,
recently. And I think that having someone to talk to during all of this, especially when you're new and especially when you're still learning, can be so beneficial because it's lonely being a trader sometimes. And especially if you're getting ripped up every day and you're not, making gains, then,
yeah.
having someone to talk to can really help you out. So find a trading buddy, less risk, use sim to your advantage, and sit back and watch on days where you don't know, like learn to listen to your gut a little bit and say like,
Yeah.
what is the market doing? And if you don't know the answer to that, then it's better to just sit back and wait until you can be like, the market's very bullish right now. The market's very bearish today, whatever it might be, and then put your capital into it. So patience, 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 and yeah, save your money.
Yeah, no, well said. Both Peter and Jared were also saying, reduce your size. That's kind of their number one advice if you're just starting out or trading sim. But that trading buddy is a really amazing advice. And you said it in chat room, and people like to joke, oh, trading buddy. But at my old job, like at our firm, every Monday we had, idea sessions. We would all sit down, all the analysts would sit down and start bouncing off ideas. Hey, what have you seen in the market? And that's the same logic with trading buddies. Like, just because we are so retail traders right now doesn't mean we can't follow the same trend professionals use. Your trading buddy
Totally.
can support you psychologically, be an emotional support, can give you investment like ideas for a long, for a short. It's really important. I know in our meetup, you I don't know how come you were in our December meetup. Were you with us back then or no?
Was I invited?
I'm pretty sure you were. I don't know. Anyway, before it gets too awkward.
No. I wasn't a mentor or moderator at BBT yet. I joined you
Ah,
guys in February, so I'll be at
okay,
the next
okay.
one.
Yeah, definitely at the next one. But during that Vancouver meetup in December, there were like 5 or 6, people that were wearing this hat called Pivot Pirates. And they were basically trading buddies using towards a strategy. Every morning they would wake up, FaceTime one another, come up with ideas and start trading. That's exactly what, hedge fund traders do. So, kudos to them. And that's such a valuable advice. Find a trading buddy, find kind of a support group that trades similar to you, and get it going.
Yeah, I honestly, getting a trading buddy and being consistent with them every morning was the turning point for me in my trading. I had my strategy kind of built out and I kind of, I had some ideas and I was trading well, but I wasn't consistent. And then now every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I jump on a call with my trading buddy. We discuss what we did for the day. And before the market opens, we're, messaging each other on Discord saying, I'm interested in this. What do you think about this? And to have somebody to, like you said, psychological, emotional support, to have somebody to kind of lean on when you're having a tough day is really important. And to have somebody point out the things that you might not be seeing. Sometimes we get so zoned in on something that it can be really easy to just like miss something so simple that like
Yeah.
you would normally see. And to have someone be like, hey, you're trading into resistance. Do you realize that? And you're like, oh, crap, no, I didn't even see that. It's super helpful. It's amazing. So definitely highly recommend that.
Yeah, exactly. I want a trading buddy. One of my friend, he works at JP Morgan. I want him to be my trading buddy before a deal happens. Tell me the information so I can front run the trade. But he said it's illegal, so he can't do that. So, but that would be awesome. If I get some kind of
Yeah.
intel like that, I'll definitely let you guys know. Megan, we like you've been pretty consistent. I think you mentioned one time you've been consistent for at least a year now. But have you ever had a major loss? And if yes, how have you dealt with it psychologically? I know on Thursday you have your biohacking and using a sleep or mushrooms or whether the topic is on that day like cold showers to get an edge physically and mentally. But have you had a major loss and how have you dealt with it? Again, if it's too personal,
Yeah. No,
I
no.
can skip this question.
No, I think this is a great question. My initial reaction would be to just be like, I just cried the whole time. No, but I didn't. I blew up my first account. So my first account was a blow up, and luckily it was a small account, so that's a major loss. But if I'm talking about like a major loss on like one trade, it has happened. And actually, I did have a major loss last month, and it still happens sometimes when you get out of your routine or you're in a bad mood and you don't recognize it, or just something might be off in your life. So what I, you know, no one likes a major loss, but I do look at bad days as something actually really positive because we learn more from our bad days than we do from our good days. A good day
Yeah.
happens and you're like, yeah, I'm the best. I caught the move. Like, there's really not a lot to evaluate from your good days. I mean, there is, right, so that you can repeat them, but the valuation is a little bit different. So on a bad day, there's so much to learn from, and I find a lot of positivity in that. For me, when I have a bad day like that, it's journaling, reviewing trades in depth to see what happened, digging in psychologically to see what was going on. Did I get in an argument with someone the night before and that just set me off? And like, why was I just pushing when I shouldn't have been pushing? Why was I adding into this? Asking all these questions that you might not normally ask if you're having a good streak or a winning streak. So I think when these days happen, dig into it, lean into it, and find the value in the learning experience from it. And take a break if you need to. Sometimes these losses happen because we are super burned out and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, sleep, we're just tired. Sometimes we need a break. It's hard to take a break from trading when it's here every single day, and we can do it if we want to, and we love to do it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to stop doing something that you love doing, but if it affects your trading, it's good to take a step back, like take a day to enjoy life in other ways and come back to the market. And one other thing I want to say is that when you have a bad day and you have a big loss, it can really damage your confidence sometimes, and you want to try to get your confidence back in the market. Well, sometimes that can be detrimental because you continue to mess up and like take losses. One of the best things to do is to step away from the market, do something else that you can gain confidence in outside of the market, and it will
Hmm.
relay into the market. So if you're really good at sports, or you're really good at working on cars, or like whatever it is, do that outside of the market, because it gets you away from your screen. It
Hmm.
builds your confidence up again, and then you come back and you feel better about just yourself as a person, and it will help you in your next day of trading. And also just remember, if you didn't blow up your account, money's just money. You'll get it again. It can be, if you need to go get a second job to make that money, it's possible. There's money out there to be made. You're not dead, I promise. So just come back stronger, take the time you need, and work through it.
What a great advice. Andrew had quite a big loss last week. I was just talking, hey, you're gonna make it, and I mean, Andrew is a master at it, as kind of bouncing back. But like once I think, and I tell my friends all the time, and people who trade with us, like once you figure out that hey, this money is just capital, is an instrument that you can use to make more money with it. Once you kind of disassociate that emotional barrier with it, then things will start clicking. And about that advice that you said, do something and get your mind off it. Exactly. Like yesterday, I went and played some tennis for a couple hours, and it was the first time that I haven't been thinking about the market for 2 hours, and it felt amazing. And sometimes you need
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
it was a great thing. In terms of journaling, I always say this in the chat room. So I said there is a good process. If you can see my screen, there is bad process. This is how I usually journal. There is good results, and then there is bad results. And I say if you got a good process and a good result, good for you. Don't get too overconfident, but good for you. That's awesome. Sometimes you have a bad process and you get good result. Like you're long bond for this and this reason, bonds go up for another reason. You got lucky. So just to stay humble, know that. And then sometimes you have a good process and bad result, and this happens. It's called variance, right? You can't just win all the time. There's going to be variance and error in your results. So this is completely normal. The only area you should worry about is here. When you got a bad process and you got bad result, this is where you need to improve and work on. So this is kind of my process of journaling and how I look at each trade.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. I'll talk about it in my sessions. Let's see some questions. Alex asked a question: how to find that instrument that would trend? How reliable is TradingView's heat map? Sorry for the elementary question. I'm just new in the business. Alex, don't ever say sorry. That's why we're doing this show. Megan, to you, how do you find trending instrument?
How do I find like a trading instrument, like what to
No,
use?
sorry,
So like,
trending. So like what is it? Is it financial is trending, XLF is trending today, or is
oh,
energy trending?
trending.
Trending, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I mean, what I would do is I look at the sector overall to see, if it's bearish or bullish, and then I go to the actual tickers of the sector, so like an XLE or an XLY, and I take a look at that chart. That's where I look to see if the overall sector is trending, and then you can break it down to, say, if you look at an XLE, which is the energy sector, and you can see it uptrending or downtrending, and you can see it on the chart, right?
Yeah.
Then I would go to a stock like Oxy, or ExxonMobil or something, and then look at playing that sector based on the fact that the overall sector is trending on the stock on the chart.
Yeah, great advice. Yeah, so Alex, if those were kind of those names were new for you, there's 11 sectors. XLE, for example, is energy. XLP is a staples. XLC is communication, things in that nature. Every day, one of them is stronger than the other. You can use the trading view or go to trading terminal, look at the sectors. And what Megan does is she kind of works her way down. If XLE is really strong, then she comes and see, okay, what's in XLE? Okay, Chevron is, CVX is, Oxy is, OXY, I don't know, BP is in there. So then she see which one of these companies is a better setup, and she starts trading it. So that's one of the ways you can find trending sectors and then trending securities, and you can start trading. Hopefully that helps. There's tons of stuff that happened in the market I want to get into. There's supply chain disruption, valuation shrinkage, that, overall valuation is really coming down. Of course, market is selling off. But we spend a lot of time, and I think a lot of people got a lot more value just going through these questions with you. And I don't want to kind of keep you waiting. We're already at a 30-minute mark. I just want to go quickly to our trading terminal. So SPY closed red for the day. So everything basically closed red, which was interesting. It was very choppy, but not a lot of juice in the tank for the market. Bitcoin is strong, which is shocking. And then in terms of sectors,
What's interesting though for the SPY is it did close red for the day, but
yeah.
we're still within the trading range for the day that it's set. So I think tomorrow is going to be really interesting because we've got this nice area to play off of now. These days can be really difficult the day that it's happening, but tomorrow could be really great because now we have a range that was set and we have somewhere to play off of. So yeah, we closed red, but we just hung out like right here, like in this little rectangle, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I got the chart up right now. This was the low of last week, I think. We might, do you think we're gonna go ahead and test this low that was set last week?
If we do lose that technical level, I'll be looking for something in like the lower 370s to hopefully hold us up, and hopefully that's where we make a turn. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we tested again. We'll just have to see what happens. There's a lot of indecision today, as you can see from the candle that closed. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. By the way, our charting looks beautiful now. Our developers have spent a lot of time. We just did a major update in our charting. So the charting looks flawless. You got your candles, you got
Sexy.
tons, super sexy, absolutely, tons of stuff in there. Unlimited amount of indicators you can add to the chart. So with some of the competitors like TradingView, there's only 2 or 3 before you have to pay. You can add as many indicators as you like. I personally don't overcrowd your charts, but if that gives you an edge, why not go for it? Well, tomorrow is going to be exciting. I'm going to be in the chat, and then I'm going for a wedding this weekend. Any plan for you?
I've got family in town, so I'm just gonna keep putting them to work on the new house and get as much out of them as I can
Yeah.
before they leave. But yeah, so just spending time with family. With the pandemic and everything, my family's in Montana, so I haven't seen them a whole lot. So it's been really nice to just have them out here and get to spend time with them. So I'll just be doing that. Maybe laying by the pool a little bit.
Amazing. It's pretty hot out there, right? I'm assuming in.
Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is in Celsius for you, but it's like been 107 here, which I want to say is like 50 for you guys, like 45 or something like that.
Oh, that would be too hot.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's hot.
Yeah. Oh, really? Eh? Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, enjoy that poll, and thanks to everybody who tuned in. I think we broke a record. A lot of people came in, which is awesome. Last time when you were on After Hours with Traders, we talked about a healthy competition with Tor. I think you beat Tor as well. Let's be real. I was checking the views. I think your video got more views with all the sound problem that we had. But
Yeah,
that's awesome.
awesome. Yeah, I love a
Yeah.
good competition. Thanks for
Hey,
providing me that, Artie.
why not? Why not? We all strive to be better. Why not? Exactly. We're all super competitive, right? We're traders, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, of course.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks again, Megan. I really, really appreciate your help, your willingness to always help the community. I didn't have to ask twice. I asked you if you could come in because Andrew was feeling a little sick today. So I appreciate accepting the invite. People got tons of value out of it. Everyone who tuned in, ask your questions, really appreciate it. We will go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every week. We want to be consistent with this schedule. So you got questions about the market, you want to get our opinion or overall what's happening in the market and the economy, tune in. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Artie, for having me. See you guys later.